Alright, we're going to be making a Rosary chaplet, which is a shorter version of the Rosary. Instead of having 5 different decades, you go around 5 times. Okay, this is meant to be handheld, very small, so that if you're in an MRI machine or somewhere else, you don't need to move really to pray your Rosary. But it's very compact and very comfortable, very soft twine that feels really nice. The one we're going to make right now is just with using our hands instead of using a tool. Some tools that people use are clothespins, forks, or even tweezers. So we're going to use it with our hands, so in case you lose that tool or whichever, you're ready to go. Alright, to make your Rosary chaplet, you have 2 pieces. The first piece is 70 inches long, and that's for the main body of the Rosary. And your second piece is 24 inches long, and that is used to make the bar on the cross. Okay, so we're going to put this guy out of the way and start with our 70-inch piece. We're going to begin about 8 or 9 inches in. I'm going to hold the string in my left hand because I'm righty. Okay, see how I have the string tucked in my fingers and this is making sort of a nice L shape there? Okay, this is my work zone right here. Okay, the first thing I need to do is to make an X. Can you see the X? Now I need to go around 2 more times, always closer to the thumb on the hand that's holding the twine. So 2, 3. That gives me 3 wraps altogether. Now if you notice, I didn't let the wraps cross over anywhere. Having those wraps cross over is going to make your barrel knot come out uneven. Okay, the other thing I didn't do is I didn't wrap really tightly. If I wrap tightly, I'm going to have a hard time with the next step. I'm going to put my thumb on where the string crosses over on that X, and I'm going to gently remove this from my finger. Okay, now again, I wanted to make sure that I didn't change the order of those loops. That's very important in making these barrel knots. Okay, now I'm going to take the end of my long tail. I'm going to come from the back of my hand to the front, going through all those loops I just made. And I pull that string all the way through. Okay, now I'm ready to tighten my knot, and I need to do this carefully. Again, we're watching for those loops not to get out of order. And the other thing I need to do is to make sure that I'm going to place this where I want it. Since this is my first knot, I really just want it where it is. See how I'm making like a little arch over my knot, and I'm just gently pulling the string. Okay, I'm going to check, did any loops jump over each other? Looks good. You're going to have 3 loops on one side and 2 on the other. That's when you know you've got it right. Okay, now to tighten this, I'm going to hold the knot and I'm going to pull the string in the knot. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same from the other side. Because I want this knot to be so tight that it's not going to move ever. Now I'm ready for my second one. So I'm going to line this up so the knot is very close to the work area. And the reason is I don't want to have to move my new knot very far to get it placed correctly. So I'm going to make that X. Now 2 more times closer to this thumb. 2, 3, good. I didn't make them too tight. Now I'm going to put my finger on that and I'm going to slide it off very carefully, trying to keep all my loops in order. Okay, I need my tail, and it's going to come from the back of my hand to the front. Can't see. There we go, back to the front, and I'm pull it all the way through. Okay, now it's important to know that I need to move my knot before I get it tight. So to move my knot, I'm just gently going to move it with my fingers as this hand does the pulling. And I want to pull slowly. And I can actually put it right next to this guy before I yank all that extra thread out. Okay, so now I've got the 2 knots, but this isn't tight, so let's get the spacing while we tighten that knot. Yanking both directions on it. Okay, you see I have them about 1/4 inch apart. That's what we want for our Hail Marys. The knots with the 3 wraps, the barrels with 3, are Hail Mary knots. So right now we're working on the body of the chaplet. So we're going to be making 10 of these. X, 2, 3, pinch, slide off, long tail from the back to the front, pull it through, okay, moving to where I want it to be as I'm tightening it, watching so those loops don't jump out of order. Okay, now I gotta do my serious tighten job. And I want my spacing to match. Okay, so that came out pretty well. Next one. X, 2, 3, hold it, slide it off, keeping the loops in order. That'll take a little getting used to. That's a tricky part. Tail from the back to the front. Pull it through. Moving it as I'm tightening it. Again, if I make the knot close to where I had the other knot, it's easier. Check my spacing. Looks good. Good. Back to front. So what happens if my loops get out of order? Let's get them really out of order there. And I tighten this guy down. He doesn't look good. It will take you about 3 chaplets to get proficient. But when I have a knot that doesn't come out well, I just untie it and try it again. There will be some days where you have to untie that knot many times. Just think of it as that person really needed that little extra offering. Okay, so I'm going to try again. X, 2, 3. Now we also have printable directions on our website, krponline.org. And there are videos for other parts of the rosary as well, in case you need particular help. Check my spacing. When you get really good at these guys, you can make one in about 6 minutes. The other nice thing is you can take these with you anywhere. You know, if you're watching, someone playing a basketball game or waiting for an appointment, and you'd be surprised at the number of conversations that just sort of happen from someone asking, what are you making? And you'd be surprised at how many rosaries you're going to give away to that person you're talking to. Wherever that conversation is, you really learn a lot about other people when you are knotting these. All right, how many have I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 more. X, 2, 3. Long tail back to front. Good, tighten, yanking each direction. Okay. All right, I'm going to give them a check, make sure they look pretty good.